Star Wars podcast, episode 3. The character you see up on the screen now is one of my favorite characters from the Star Wars universe, but this isn't from the movies, so many of you may not recognize him. His name is Ferus Olin, and he is from about 3 book series, one of them being forgetting the names. The Last of the Jedi series, and I believe the other one is Star Wars Rebels. I have not read the third series, which I believe is called Jedi Apprentice, but he appears in all 3 book series, and he is a rather, in my mind, one of the better characters in the Star Wars universe, especially expanded universe. Sorry if the picture's a little off screen. I accidentally scrolled up and down. So Ferus Olin, by what I understand, I haven't read these books yet, but by what I understand is during his apprenticehood, he was Anakin Skywalker's, how do I put it? He was Anakin Skywalker's rival. I forgot the word. He was Anakin Skywalker's rival, and often the two clashed or they battled against each other, often for fun, but they're rivals. They went against each other. And actually, also by what I understand, is Anakin Skywalker is the reason Ferus Olin left the Jedi Order, which is the reason Ferus Olin's life was saved. But what I know comes in with the Last of the Jedi series. Ferus Olin was a unruly citizen of the planet Balassa, which he had taken in he had adopted as his home planet. He began to love the planet Balassa. So Obi-Wan Kenobi hears about this stuff going on the planet Balassa, and he's like, this sounds familiar. I know who this is. Should I go help him? Obi-Wan Kenobi decides to go help him. He frees Ferus Olin. I'm not going to go detail on Ferus Olin's life, but that's how he basically got set up in this book series. In The Last Jedi, he's the main character. So he has, at the beginning of the series, he has this Imperial nemesis that he eventually kills on Naboo. Funny thing is, Ferus Olin kills him in the same room Darth Maul died. But, he's kind of this rogue Jedi figure. And I don't know the name, but pretty soon we're going to be seeing the television series Star Wars Rebels. I'm looking at the main character, this rogue Jedi they're talking about in the series, being a very kind of similar character to Ferus Olin, except for, a little bit more, how do you say it, a little bit more cowboyish. But, they kind of have the same backgrounds. They kind of left the Jedi Order before this Order 66 happened, or they somehow survived. And they're reappearing as a Jedi figure. But, Ferus Olin is starting to refine his Jedi figure. Eventually, he is put in touch with the Emperor. He has to face the Emperor Palpatine by himself, and the Emperor offers him a job as an Inquisitor, which, if you didn't know, is the kind of guy who he had killed on Naboo. That's the kind of position. He accepts it because otherwise he's gonna die. He's not gonna risk his life over a job offer. And then sometime during that point, there was force-sensitive activities happening on Alderaan, and Ferus Olin had investigated that, found who it was, which, if y'all know, that would have been Princess Leia, because Princess Leia's adopted family, Bell Organa and such, lived on Naboo. So, also during this time, Ferus Olin had set up a hidden asteroid base on a planet, and I don't know where it was. Anyways, he set up a hidden asteroid base where he hid Jedi he found, such as Galen Merrick and a few others that were, basically had survived Order 66 in some way. Now, how I believe he found Galen Merrick from reading was he had gone back to he had heard of a Jedi living in the caves where the Jedi find the crystals for their lightsabers. So he went and investigated, he found Galen Merrick and took him back to his secret base that he had found earlier on in the series. Also during this time, Ferus Olin was very active in rebellious activities against the Emperor. And he was with a group that Dexter Jettster from the second movie, Star Wars The Clone Wars, had created a secret underground layer base on Coruscant, where he would meet with others that were against the Empire, and they were, forming plans on going against the Empire and all. Well, one day, stormtroopers raid the base in the middle of a very important meeting, and luckily Dexter Jettster and several others survived. But Ferus Olin was in league with them. So, eventually, all this stuff Ferus Olin had been doing begins to fail, and so he has to go into hiding. His secret base is destroyed. He has nowhere to turn. He obviously can't go back to Belasa because he would probably be suspected of being there. He goes to Obi-Wan Kenobi. I believe so. He went to Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine. If I have this wrong, either way, he went to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi says, well, I'm doing this for Luke Skywalker over here. Why don't you go be the protector of Princess Leia, the daughter of Bell Organa, the adopted daughter? So he's like, okay, I guess I will. Later on, we see that Alderaan's destroyed, but Ferus Olin was off planet at that moment. So, here's a leak for the series Star Wars Rebels, where Ferus Olin is on the planet Delea, which is Alderaan's sister planet in the Alderaan system, where many Alderaanian people that survived went to after the destruction of the planet Alderaan by the Death Star. So Olin is on the system, and he runs into Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, and Han Solo and Chewbacca, and he he decides to, I guess, join the group in a way, or he becomes a part of the rebels. He does believe that he would be in endangerment to them because of his force, but after the death of Vex 7 in the book series, Luke Skywalker had been captured by Rezi Soresh, who wanted to make an assassin out of him, and so he decides. So Princess Leia needs to escape the planet. We saw this before with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Luke Skywalker needed to escape the Death Star. Actually, it wasn't a planet, it was an asteroid. But they needed to get off the asteroid. Darth Vader was there. And Ferus Olin decides, I'm going to stall for Princess Leia and the others and give up my life, go attack Darth Vader, who's Anakin Skywalker, my old rival, and let Leia escape. So Ferus Olin's killed by Vader. And many people believe, because of Ferus Olin's attempts of rebelling against the Empire during the Last of the Jedi series, that Ferus Olin is one of the beginners of the rebellion against the Empire. He was one of the early leaders of rebellious movements against them, and he died about 3 years before the fall of the Empire. Kind of sad, but it's cool in the same way. There are several unique things. Ferus Olin was eventually killed by his rival. Unlike Obi-Wan Kenobi, he did put up a fight before he died, but he still sacrificed himself for the one he needed to protect and didn't want to put her in danger. He was the protector of Princess Leia, such as Obi-Wan Kenobi was of Luke Skywalker. And we see him as a similar figure to one that we're going to be seeing in a new television series. A Jedi that's searching again for his old identity as a Jedi. I think Ferus Olin is a very important and unique character in the Star Wars universe, and I wish he was more prominent than he was. I wish he would actually show up in a television series. And I got wrong from earlier. The series he was actually introduced in was Jedi Quest by Jude Watson, where he was introduced as a rival of Anakin Skywalker. Watson later used him again in the Last of the Jedi series. So that's why he's in both of those. And then he was in Rebel Force, which I mentioned as being Star Wars The Rebels, but is Rebel Force. Anyways, I think Ferus Olin is a very cool character. He has this kind of aura about him that just makes me enjoy his character. And unlike most expanded universe characters, because he's been used in 3 different book series, he rather has a lot of history and information before about him that you don't see in many characters. I mean, he has more information than many Star Wars characters already in the movies do. So I just think Ferus Olin is a very thought through character who's become a main character in 1 series of books and has been a important character in at least 2 others. Wish I could have given you more information on him, but at the same time I was just summing up his life for this podcast. And before we go, please remember to comment on what I should do next week. I would like to begin to do these these podcasts weekly if I have the time or if I remember to do them. But this is episode 3 of the Star Wars podcast by me, Minecraft Indiana. Please come back next time.